So Trump spoke at the National Prayer Breakfast, and this will prove to be the most sacrilegious thing you will see all year, unless you see a live version of The Exorcist. By the way, looking fantastic, dude. Looking healthy and aware and not at all out of your element and confused. And they're in the rotunda and blah, blah, blah. And we'll see how long you can actually stay on topic. I have not seen this. So here we go.
And our country is starting to do very well again. It's happening fast. A little faster than people thought.
Really? So the egg prices are down, are they? Eggs are doing good. Groceries down. Housing availability is up. Jobs are doing great. We're opening some factories immediately. I mean, not the ones that were paid for under the Biden administration, like all of the data centers you were taking credit for.
Thank you especially to Senator Marshall for the beautiful introduction. Appreciate it very much. Thank you. Great senator you are.
And even better at giving me introductions.
I also want to thank a friend and a man of profound faith and tremendous patriotism who's also become a great friend. You become much friendlier when you have a majority of 2 or 3 or 4. Could even be 5 pretty soon. But for a little while it was 1. And it's Mike Johnson, Speaker. Thank you very much, Mike, very much. And thanks as well to somebody who's doing a fantastic job, Senator.
So that just about anybody?
Thune, thank you very much, Senator. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Dealing with you? Yes.
It's really great. And Leader Scalise, Steve, wherever you may be, I think you're here someplace. There he is, a brave guy, too. A brave guy, I always say it. And Senator Chuck Schumer. Chuck, thank you very much. Thank you. Senator Hassan, thank you very much. Thank you, very nice to see you. Congressman Jeffries, thank you. And many other very distinguished leaders in the room. It's a great group of people.
He just said, there you heard it. He thinks Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are great. Sorry, maggots. He just said they're great people. I don't know what to tell you. You can't argue with it. He said it. Chuck Schumer is great, according to your hero. So is Hakeem Jeffries. I know it's rough. Just absorb it for a minute. He said it. Must be true. He meant it. Great people. He said it.
If it could ever come together, it would be unbelievable. It may not happen, but it should, and maybe it will. From the earliest days of our republic, faith
Let me get back to reading.
in God has always been the ultimate source of the strength that beats in the hearts of our nation.
And something, words, Wikipedia about religion, very important, so important.
We have to bring religion back.
Which one? This asshole thinks Christianity is the only kind of religion, and he doesn't even participate in it.
We have to bring it back much stronger. It's one of the biggest problems that we've had over the last fairly long period of time.
Well, fairly.
We have to bring it
What's a fairly long period of time? 6 decades? 3? Few months?
back. Thomas Jefferson himself once attended Sunday services held in the old House chamber on the very ground where I stand today.
So I'm basically Thomas Jefferson. So where do I sign the Constitution?
So there could be nothing more beautiful than for us to gather in this majestic place.
The majestic. It's very majestic. I agree. I think of all the buildings in D.C., it is majestic.
There could be nothing more beautiful than for us to gather in this majestic
Sorry, I mispronounced. I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
place. It is majestic and reaffirm
Yeah, okay. You can say it both ways.
that America is and will always be one nation under God.
Which one?
At every stage of the American story, our country has drawn hope and courage and inspiration from our trust in the Almighty. Deep in the soul of every patriot is the knowledge that God has a special plan
And like, this sounds like a fucking book report from a toddler. Deep in the heart of everyone, the Lord reaches in and delivers unto. I have to poop. Shh, Johnny, finish the report. I have to poop. Finish it. All right. The Lord blesses us on this day that we all know that faith in God and faith in America. I'm pooping right now. I'm pooping. Why? Well, then just pooping, but don't stop. All right. Don't stop pooping? No, reading. I'm sorry.
Glorious mission for America. And that plan is going to happen. It's going to happen. I hope it happens sooner rather than later. It's going to happen.
Yeah, God, what are you waiting for?
And it's His hand that guides us every single step of the way. And all of you and the things we have to do is to see the defining role that faith and prayer have played in the life of our
Yeah, that's what you have to do. All of you, and you have to see what you've done.
nation.
Wait, listen to that again. Wait, what?
All of you and the things we have to do is to see the defining role that faith and prayer have played in the life of our nation.
Yeah, that's all you and what you have to do. That's what it says on the paper. He read it right.
And you just have to look at this building, and you can look at each other.
What's up? Hey, how you doing?
You can really look at each other.
You can't. You really give everybody a once-over. Come on. Don't be afraid. Reach into the lap of the person. Stick your head between your knees. Your own knees, Father.
It's defined almost everyone in this room. I think faith.
Almost. Some of you, myself included, never cracked that fucking book. I held it upside down, guilty as charged.
Faith has been very strong with the people in this room. Just steps away from here in the Hall of Columns is the statue of John Winthrop.
The statue. He's, I gotta tell you, late in the day, kids. Gets into the afternoon around dinner time, the brain fog starts to creep in. They ought to have a giant, like, foghorn that just blows, and he knows to report back to the residency and go upstairs. You know more than anyone that faith.
Who famously proclaimed that America would stand as a city upon a hill, a light to all nations.
To all nations.
With the eyes of all people upon us. Today, almost 400 years after that famous sermon, we see that with the Lord's help, the city stands taller and shines brighter than ever before, or at least it soon will.
Not right now, obviously, with me standing here, but maybe, I don't know, 6 to 10 years, we'll get our shit together.
In that same hall.
When Hal Sparks is president, this whole place will feel so much more fun. Like, this will not feel like we're all waiting to have a colonoscopy performed on us by someone who's just reading the manual right in front of us.
We also find the statue of the great Roger Williams, who founded the state of Rhode Island, named its capital city Providence, and built the first Baptist church in America. It's Williams that we have to thank for making religious liberty part of the bedrock of American life. And today we must...
Well, that and everybody that agreed to it.
...protect the fundamental freedom with absolute devotion. We must stand strong, just like generations of Americans have done.
What are you talking about? You're trying to implement like an evangelical only policy about stuff. If you want to stand strong with religious liberty, you got to be forced faith is not faith of any sort. So if you try to establish a religion, or you try to, create a category of hierarchy of religions, you automatically destroy the ones at the top that you put the most effort into, because you say they're the ones that are the most difficult to have natural faith in.
On the battlefield.
Other than that, I mean, sit down.
All around the world. Feet away from the magnificent rotunda, another statue watches over visitors to the Capitol. George Washington, the founder of our country, often called for Americans to join together in prayer, very often.
Yeah, it got annoying, actually, after a while. He was like, let us pray. And like, we just prayed, George. Come on, guys. Let us pray. You just want us to shut our eyes so you can look for your teeth. I just don't want them to bounce near the fire.
And more than 2 centuries later, this morning, we heed President Washington's wisdom and follow in his mighty footsteps. He was a strong
footstepper
man and of great religious strength.
Really? Yeah. Tell us a little bit about it. You don't have to read. Tell us about the religion of George Washington. As a Mason, I would love to fucking hear it. As a matter of fact, one of the things I've been wanting to get for a very long time is one of these. Hold on. Let me show you this thing, baby. Yeah, there it is. The Brother George. God damn it. It's, I don't know, on Etsy. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. Quit it. I'm going to show you guys this. The George Washington, as a Freemason, this is one of the ones that you kind of want to get to wear at Lodge sometimes, like for 4th of July, shit like that. That's George Washington's Freemason apron, man. That's some major shit. It's got a UFO. It's got like Pythagorean math. It's got Space Invaders. Everything. It's fucking great. I so want one of these, almost as much as I want the Skull and Crossbones one. But I'll show you the other one. No relation to the Skull and Bones at all. Let's see. I don't want the pointed one. Rounded. Hold on. Where are you, you silly thing? Usually it comes straight up when I'm looking for it because I... Nope, get out of here. You silly thing. Yeah, here it is. This guy. I just love this one. As Masonic aprons go, silence and circumspection, baby. Look at that one. That one's great. It's got this the square is wood, is a wooden angle, and then the compass has got bones, like finger bones in the thing. So, anyways.
The stories of legends like Washington, Winthrop, and Williams remind us that without...
What stories? Tell us one of the stories. Don't just breeze by it. Tell us all the stories you know. Wouldn't you guys love to hear? I'm sure you guys would want to hear the stories, right? He knows, he's got to know the story. That's why he brought it up.
Faith in God, there would be no American story.
Or any story at all. Just tell us one of the stories. You've got them memorized. Come on, you got the greatest memory in the world. You probably just breezed right by it.
Every citizen should be proud of this exceptional heritage. We have an unbelievable heritage. And
he loves heritage. He loves that whole thing like, you owe us. We've been here a long time.
we have to use that and make life better for everyone.
Great. Thanks, man. Excellent. Yep. That's what a heritage is for. Use it. Use your heritage. It's like that was the early version of Use Your Illusion, right? It was one of the weirder demo albums from Guns N' Roses was Use Your Heritage.
That's why as we approach the 25th times 10.
The 250th? Yeah, I mean, look, don't be afraid to do math in public. The 25th times 10 anniversary. That's how I look at it. That's how you look at it.
Anniversary. Think of that. 250 years we'll be celebrating.
Yeah, I was pretty sure when you said 25 times 10 that's what it added up to. What is it? I was like, oh, equals 250. The 25 times 10? My motherfucker, God damn it. Because he's just talking out of his ass and whatever. But, there's a bunch of maggots now who are making their 25x10 fucking shirts. God damn it. Yeah, it's 2.5 times 100. Why not?
Next year of our country's founding, I have signed an executive order to
All right.
resume the process of creating a new national park full of statues of the greatest Americans who ever lived.
It's great. And you'll be in there. You're gonna have your own statue. This is just your way of getting your own fucking statue in the place.
We're going to be honoring our heroes, honoring the greatest people from our country. We're not going to be tearing down. We're going to be building up.
Oh, so it's going to be a bunch. It should be like a big monument to Robert E. Lee. It's going to be like Custer and Jesse James and like the two biggest plantation owners in the South. I mean, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the cotton industry.
It would be called the National Garden of American Heroes.
Great. Rolls off the tongue.
Some of you will be on that soon-to-be hallowed ground. Some of you, let's see, I can pick a few of you right now by looking. There's a couple of you right now I can see. Let's see. It's the president's sole opinion. And I've given myself a 25-year period. And then somebody else. By that time, it'll be very, very built up.
Or it will just be shuffled because it's an executive order, weirdo. Who's budgeting for this? Where the fuck is the money coming from?
No,
No, I don't know. No, you can't, No, I can't. I'm gonna, no.
It will be something very special.
Yeah, it'll have, when you walk through the gate, it'll be Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell holding hands, and you walk under there, and then you walk through a little opening, and it's Matt Gaetz's crotch, and then, yeah.
I hope that Congress will fully fund this.
Yeah, while they're cutting school programs.
Wonderfully unifying project.
Yeah, it'll be so much more unifying than funding schools.
At the first possible opportunity. It's not going to be a lot of money. Going to be very important, however.
Well, then don't ask Congress for it. Take charitable donations for it, unnamed or some shit. Let DC do it.
So that more of our people can be inspired by the faith and courage of patriots like those who we honor in these halls.
Yeah, I don't need a statue to do that. I mean, I really don't. I mean, I guess it has some value. When I was growing up, we used to go rub Lincoln's toe at the Kentucky state capitol. That was a big thing. His toe is very brassy, whereas the rest of him is, dark brown, green, because... Yeah.
One of the incredible Americans whose memory my order will celebrate is also recognized with a statue in the Capitol representing the great state of North Carolina, and that's a man known who everybody loved, Reverend Billy Graham.
Not everybody.
He was something. My father used to take me to watch the Crusades. He would take me to Yankee Stadium. I remember it so well.
Really? Tell us one of the speeches. I'm sure you can just kind of... Nope, you can't bust out. Look, is there a single chat room? Please let me know if there's a maggot out there that this is lost on. Maggots, I myself, you could, in the middle of the night, poke me with a stick and go, John 3:16. And I would go, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, for whosoever believes in him will not perish, but have everlasting life. Like, I would bark it the fuck out like that in the middle of the night. Do you think do you think Trump can repeat John 3:16? Of all of the fucking dude couldn't figure out, like, he doesn't know Jesus wept. Never mind, no man shall know the hour nor the day, not even the Son, only the Father shall know. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to hear anything about you being an American Christian if you can't, like, repeat John 3:16 at the drop of a fucking hat. I call bullshit. You don't have to have a favorite verse, but you got to be able to prattle that thing. Because I guarantee all the fomenting Christians in the House and the Senate, bet you fucking they can. Even the fake ones. Because they've at least gone through the goddamn motions.
I remember it
Hold on.
more than I remember any Yankee game, and I've seen a lot of Yankee games. Can you believe it?
No, I don't believe it. A short anecdote about something he said, even if it was in your written remarks, would go a long way. But you can't, because you'll come out and go, I remember he said blah, blah, blah. And it's in there because it fits in with what I'm doing. He's like, you know that thing about Jesus said, welcome the stranger? Fuck that. Remember when he said that? Like, that's what you would put in there.
And Billy didn't have a bat, so, you know, he's pretty good.
What? Okay, by the way, that's the whole Elvis had a guitar, I fill a stadium, and Elvis filled stadiums, but Elvis had a guitar. Okay, first of all, he also sang. He didn't just have a guitar. He was performing it. And also, he sold tickets, dumb fuck. Your events are free.
It was amazing.
So is voting. If it costs money to vote, you'd have lost, hands down.
You'd have 60 or 70,000 people, and they loved him. They loved him. I saw him with Franklin. I don't know if Franklin's here. I just don't know, but I've gotten to know Franklin.
You just don't know.
He's done a great job with helping on tragedies, on problems like in North Carolina.
Yeah, he's the Jessica Fletcher of tragedies. He shows up so much. I'm concerned that he might be the cause.
California, he's always the first one there. The work he does is, his father's very proud of him, I can tell you that. But
yeah, what's the name of the organization, Samaritan's Purse? I mean, I know it. What's the name of the organization? The organization, you met with him twice in North Carolina. He was there right next to you. You brought up the organization. You can remember what it is, right? He does all this great work. He's with Samaritan. You could name drop his organization if you think it's doing great work. Huh? I'm kidding. You don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Billy Graham was very special.
Was he? He was. All right.
One floor below us, Reverend Graham's statue stands with an open Bible. The page turned to a letter from the Apostle Paul, which reads, "Let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." Never give up. Never, ever give up.
Yeah, that's what it says after. It says, never give up, never, ever give up. And there's like a brass page, and if you turn it, it just goes, really, seriously, don't give up. Don't ever give up. Quit it. And then on the next page, it's got a little cat on a curtain, and it says, hang in there. Maybe if you're just quoting the Bible, maybe just say the thing that's in the actual. maybe you don't need to goose the Bible verse a little. Like, you know, it can stand on its own, you know? I just, all right.
You can't. How about me? If I would have given up, I would not be here right now. Who the hell knows where I'd be? It might not be a good place. If it was up to the Democrats, it would not be a good place at all. Never, ever give up. There could be...
Yeah, that's the lesson of that Bible verse. Never give up, because they might throw you in jail, and...
No better message for the leaders gathered here, and you are real leaders.
It is. The word leader is right there. It's on the paper. So if it says leader, you must be.
And we must never give up, and
don't forget to lead.
We must never grow tired.
Never give up. Never surrender. Right.
We must never grow weary, and we always must practice good. As you know, last week.
Sorry.
We must never grow tired. We must never grow weary.
And I think those mean different things.
And we always must practice good. As you know, last week,
Just practice good. We may never get good at good. We may fail at good, but better to fail at good trying to be good than to not try at all and still be bad, but at least you tried and you can blame someone else.
only a few miles from here, our nation witnessed a terrible tragedy when 67 people were killed in a horrible accident near Reagan Airport. As one nation, we take solace in the knowledge that their journey
That it wasn't our fault for firing the FAA people, and it's probably because they hired some black ladies.
that night did not end in the icy waters of the Potomac, but in the warm embrace of a very loving God.
Yikes, dude. Again, take your faux fucking sympathy somewhere else. What a loving God, what do you want him to do? Go swimming?
None of us knows exactly when our time on earth will be over. You never know.
Trump hates reading that. You never know, but you kind of do.
A truth I confronted a few short months ago.
Oh, fuck you. I'm basically one of those gymnasts that went down in the plane. I'm basically the same, except I'm alive because God likes me better.
When there was an incident that was not fun.
Jesus Christ. You gotta make it about you, don't you? You just talk about like 67 people are fucking dead, and you're like, let me tell you, last summer was not fun. Getting your ear nicked is not fun. If you don't believe me, ask Corey Comparator's family.
It was not a good thing, but God was watching me. The chances of me being here.
Oh, Jesus.
My sons are shooters. They're really good shooters.
Oh, my God. God was obviously watching over me and protecting me. He didn't give a shit about those 67 people in the plane and the helicopter. But me, I was fuck Corey Comparator and his stupid family. You know, God obviously wanted him broomed, but God wanted me to survive. He also wanted my ear nicked for some reason, and I'm still pissed at him about that.
Don and Eric.
Yes, we get it. Yeah, Dumb and Dumber.
And they said the chances of missing from that range with that gun are... But Don equated it to a 1-foot putt. That's...
Yeah, how many times with a 1-foot putt do you have snipers facing your direction that start firing at you as soon as you know when you're about to hit the putt that you're going to be shot at, and you just saw a cop that's reaching for his gun, still playing golf. What do you think the chances of hitting that putt are? I'm going to guess you're going to overshoot. No pun intended.
Pretty bad. 2 feet I can see missing, but 1 foot you can't miss. It was the equivalent of a 1-foot putt is what
No, it wasn't.
he told me. He said, in fact, he gained some religion. He went up 25%.
So there's a graph. There's a faith graph, a chartable faith graph.
And if you know him, that's a lot. But
So 25% of zero is what? Oh, yeah.
he said there had to be somebody that saved you, and I think I know who it is. And
Yeah, the snipers, the cop on the ground, and the Secret Service.
looked up and I said, "Whoa, Don, you've come a long way." He's a good guy, but my 2 sons just really couldn't believe it. Had I not turned that right turn just at that time, and the audience, 55,000 people standing this way.
No, they weren't.
There were just a few people in the back on the bleachers. There was nobody over there except for my all-time favorite chart in history, a chart on immigration. Immigration saved my life, see? So we're going to be good for immigration, okay? But had I not made that turn, boom, and quit.
Jesus Christ. Remember at the RNC, he was like, I'm going to speak of this once and never speak of it again. And now he's like blathering about it in the middle of the National Prayer Breakfast remarks.
Quickly. It was almost as though a deer bolted. You know, they say the only way you miss when you're a good shot is if it bolts. I bolted. I turned to the right to look at the chart, and I said, wow, what was that? What was that? So,
by the way, just so you know, this is more about the fact that he ruminates on this all the time. That he's never considered his own mortality in any serious sense in his life. And that, whether he was participant in the fakery of it or whether it happened exactly as everybody said, it is immaterial. Because his reaction to it scared the shit out of him, clearly. And he's been stuck on it ever since. And as his brain turns to mush, he's going to fixate on it even more. This is untreated PTSD, and he's already incapable of dealing with these kind of things.
So you never know, but God did that. I mean, it had to be. The chances of turning, there's no reason to turn to the right. You know, the chart is rarely brought down. I brought it down maybe 20%, and 20% of the time.
What the fuck are you talking about? Jesus Christ.
And it's never on my right, it's always on my left.
No, it isn't. You have two screens.
And it's always at the end of the speech.
No, it isn't.
It's never the beginning of the
He was starting to do it at the beginning on purpose.
speech. And if I was a little more than that 90-degree angle, it would be no good. And if I was a little less, it would be no good. It had to be perfect. Thing went right along.
Well, no, perfect would be not hitting you at all, I guess. Perfect, if God really wanted to save you, he would have given the fucker a flat tire on his way there.
Along the edge. It didn't affect my hair. Can you believe that?
Anyways, what was I saying about the 67 people who died, including young gymnasts or figure skaters the other day? Anyways, those people, blah, blah, blah.
Might have touched it, but not where it counts. Not the skin part. But
the skin part. Jesus, what?
Honestly, it changed something in me. I feel even stronger. I believed in God, but I feel much more strongly about it. Something happened.
Oh yeah? What? 25%? 27%?
Happened. So, thank you.
Thank you. It took getting shot at for me to actually think you guys are anything short of fucking nuts.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, round of applause for how a near-death experience and untreated PTSD have made me religious, not the depth of my philosophical and spiritual journey, obviously, which is, shallow as a fucking puddle, so...
But that event, like the tragedy last week, should...
Yeah, they're a lot like... They're so alike.
Remind us all that we have to make the most out of every single day that we have. Who would think that you're in space and two things collide?
Who would think you're in space and two things collide? Good question. No one.
The odds of that happening are so small, even without proper control. We should have had the proper control. We should have had better equipment. We don't. We have obsolete equipment.
Obsolete? On the helicopter, it was a training mission.
They were understaffed for whatever reason. I guess the helicopter was high, and we'll find
Somebody was high.
Out exactly what happened. But
well, then don't talk about it until you know. How about that? How about just talk about the fact that it's a tragedy because you're at a fucking prayer breakfast and people died, and stop trying to lay blame somewhere else and blame the last administration for something that happened during yours after you fired people at the FAA.
The odds, even if you had nothing, if you had nobody, the odds of that happening are extremely small. It's like, did you ever see, you go to a driving range in golf and you're hitting balls hundreds of...
This is so fucking gross. The helicopter hitting the plane and those 67 people dying. It's like when you ever been at a driving range playing golf? Jesus Christ.
Balls, thousands of hours. I never see a ball hit another ball.
Careful with that kind of talk. You're going to set off Mike Johnson's app.
Balls going up all over the place. You never see him hit. It was
Yeah. If I had a nickel, fuck me.
amazing that could happen. There was a lot of mistakes made, and it should have never happened. But regardless of that, it's amazing that it happened.
Shut the fuck up! God, it's awful. This is just awful. This is pathetic. Maggots, I don't want to hear any shit about Biden's wandering brain ever. This is fucked up. People died, and he's like, well, it should happen. I don't know. Like, well, you ever been playing golf? And the odds are just, can you imagine? You're in the air and two things. I mean, even if nobody was around, it's just like blathering at a fucking bar. Eat your wings and shut the fuck up, Barry.
And I think that's going to be used for good. I think what is going to happen is we're all going to sit down and do a great computerized system for our control towers, brand new, not pieced together, obsolete like it is land-based, trying to hook up a land-based system to a satellite system.
What the fuck do you think we use? String?
And the first...
trying to hook up a land-based system to a satellite system? What do you mean trying?
Thing that some experts told me when this happened is you can't hook up land to satellites, and you
unless you have a really long cord.
Can't hook up satellites to land.
No, it just doesn't work that way. Unless you got eventually you're going to run out of cable.
Doesn't work. We spent billions and billions of dollars trying to renovate an old broken system on...
Whoa. No, renovate it. Blah, blah, blah. At some point, you're going to connect a land-based system to the satellite system. There's going to be something that's going to communicate between something, and you're not going to run a fucking wire up, dummy. What the hell?
Instead of just saying, cut it loose, and let's spend less money and build a great system done by 2 or 3 companies, very good companies, specialists, that's all it is. They used 39 companies. That means that 39 different hookups have to happen. And I don't know how many people of you are good in terms of all of the kind of things necessary for that. And it's very complex stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys are good with all of the kind of things that are necessary for that, and it's very complex stuff. Look, obviously he knows what's up. Obviously, you and I can't even fathom.
But when you have 39 different companies working on hooking up, different cities had different people.
Yeah, you can't have an orgy in the middle of the tower when there's helicopters flying loose all over the place.
You need one company with one set of
39 hookups. That sounds like a movie about my summer in 1997. Sorry.
Equipment. And there are some countries that have unbelievable air controller systems.
Do they? Air controller systems?
And bells would have gone off when that helicopter literally even hit the same height because it traveled a long distance before it hit. It was just.
Dude, shut up! You're at the National Prayer Breakfast! Shut the fuck up! Stop it! This is so awful.
Wouldn't stop. It was, follow the line. But bells and whistles would have gone off. They have them where it actually could virtually turn the thing around. It would have just never happened if we had the right equipment. And one of the things that's going to be, I'm going to be speaking to John.
Sorry, real quick. So you want our military aircraft to have bells and whistles on them, or things that set them off when they're flying in a place where they're not supposed to fly, so that alarms go off. So in case they have to fly someplace in an emergency, they're just setting off alarms all over the fucking place? That's the plan? I mean, it was a military helicopter that hit a passenger plane. The passenger plane had the right of way.
Mike and to Chuck and to everybody, we have to get together and just, as a single bill, just pass where we get the best control system.
Yeah, it just put it like Best Control System Act of 2025. Use 3 companies instead of 39 and make it awesome. My fucking God.
When I land in my plane, privately, I use a system from another country because my captain tells me I'm landing in New York and I'm using a system. I won't tell you what country, but I use a system from another country because the captain says this thing is so bad, it's so obsolete, and we can't have that.
What? Get the fuck out of here. No, you don't. You use the air traffic controller system in the States. What do you mean you bought a radar system or something in your plane that you got that's made in the Czech Republic or some other country that makes airplane parts? Who cares? Your fucking engines are more than likely German. Who gives a shit?
So we're going to have the best system. And
but I won't tell you where it's from, and I won't tell you what I use because it's the prayer breakfast and you've all just had waffles.
a lot of money, but it's not that much money. And it'll happen fast, and it'll be done by total professionals. And when it's done, you're not going to have accidents. It's just not, they're virtually not possible to have.
They're virtually not possible to have. That's what our record is until you showed up, fuckwad.
Each of us is blessed with a precious chance to help lead America to renew our pledges of faith and everything else. And
yeah, faith and everything else. It's all together, just like a pile. It's like that KFC bucket of food that you get, with just like mashed potatoes and chicken wings and shit like that, all in a big with gravy. Whatever Patton Oswalt calls it, a sadness bowl, whatever. Yeah, it's like that plus faith.
Bring us to new heights and create a future of promise for our people and for ourselves. You know,
we're not our people. Fuck them. We're not our, yes, we'll create it for our people, but for ourselves. We'll carve ourselves off a slice. Am I right, folks?
The most important people in the country in a true sense here, because you're the one.
Jesus. Really? Hold on. We've come across yet another thing that if Biden said it, these motherfuckers would be apoplectic.
You know, we have the most important people in the country in a true sense here, because you're the ones that are going to make the decision. You're the ones that are leading us into so many different things,
into so many different things.
It's the right air control system or the right size.
The right air control system to control the air. We're going to turn.
Military, or what to do and what not to do.
Both of those things.
Important people. And
not the plebes back. Washington is where the important shit happens. Thank you for finally, look at it. Trump is finally standing up for the Washington elite.
Many of you are very religious. I know so many of you are very religious, and
I don't get it, but whatever.
I just think that our country has been so badly hurt. We're very hurt by what COVID did to religion.
Really? What, did people lose their fucking faith? What?
It really hurt it badly. People couldn't go to church for a long period of time.
Wait, you think your faith starts and stops at the vestibule, at the steps of the church?
Even going outside, they were given a hard time, and I'm not blaming anybody for that.
Because it happened during your presidency?
But it was very hard to gather, so they started using computers.
Oh, that's what it did. God hates computers.
If that.
Yeah, if that. Some of them were using semaphore, Aldous lamps.
And when they come back, it's just, a whole new experience they have to.
What is this place? I feel like I haven't been here in weeks.
Get used to. But it is starting to come back. We had a fantastic thing happen yesterday. The Army.
Oh, no. I gotta tell you, when he's it's bad enough. This has been fucking horrible. But every time he thinks he's on a roll right now. That's what's really fucked up about this. Jesus.
had the best recruitment numbers that they've had in more than 15 years. They think it could be 25 years, actually. They're going to probably put that out. But
yeah, because it doesn't matter. We made the number up.
More than 15 years.
Yeah, right. At the middle of the Iraq and Afghanistan war, where everybody was like, fuck this.
Just now. And we were worried about it. We were talking about it numerous times that, we don't have people joining our military services. We don't have people joining our police force. We have to cherish our police. It's so dangerous. You open a car and somebody starts shooting. They have blackened windows. You don't even have any idea who.
This is the fucking prayer breakfast. You go up and somebody has a big fucking live free or die on their fucking bumper sticker on their truck. And you're like, this motherfucker might be crazy.
Who's in the car? Oftentimes they have the dark windows.
Yeah, and they themselves might be dark, I think is what you mean. And therefore...
Which they're not, in theory, supposed to have, but they have them. The door opens and a gun is pointed at your face, and
I hate that.
Can't do a thing about it.
Nope, except I suppose back up and shoot them.
It's just nothing you're going to do.
It happens a lot, actually.
About it.
They do stuff about it all the time. It happens, yeah.
Your friends will take them out. It's happened so many times, but it's such a dangerous thing. We have to cherish these people. So today we join our hearts and prayers and...
With everybody getting shot in the face? Pray against people with darkened windows?
Committing to putting our country first. We have to put our country first, making America strong.
I thought maybe God first. Is that the kind of point of this whole thing? Because most of the people that are there on your side of the aisle are like, I'm a Christian first, then I'm an American. That's one of their big things.
Bigger and greater and more exceptional than ever before, and we have to make religion a much more important factor now. We have to make it an important factor.
Yes, an important factor.
And if we do that,
it'll be one of the best factors. We're going to do that. We're going to make religion a big, beautiful factor. We're going to make a religion factory. You know how they have like the Laugh Factory for laughs and the Cheesecake Factory? We need a Jesus factory. I mean, trademark that, because I feel like Larry Graham over here is going to use it.
Our job is just going to be much easier. It unifies people. It brings people together. Democrats are going to be able to have lunch again and dinner.
I had lunch today, yeah.
With Republicans. And I remember just as growing...
I had Thanksgiving dinner with them all the time. Well, once a year.
I'd see, I revered senators, congressmen.
Did you?
Something very special. But they were out to dinner
Yeah, before you showed up. It's weird. It's funny. Until you showed up with your bullshit, they kind of got along. They kind of worked on shit, you hashed stuff out. It was, there was a level of comedy.
All the time. We had an old congressman, maybe some of Cy Halpern from Queens, and he was a friend of my father. But he'd have dinner he was a Democrat, he'd have dinner with Republicans, and he'd be out. It wouldn't even make a difference. Today, it's like shocking.
Dude, you just shit on Democrats at the prayer breakfast 4 times.
And it shouldn't be. You have to get together. We really have to.
We got to get together, even though you guys the airplane fell out of the sky because God and you guys basically are to blame. Let's bow our heads.
To get together. We all know what's right and what's wrong, and there's going to be compromise on both sides. But we have to just do the right thing, and we have to get together. You did
compromise? What? Uh-oh, the deep state's got him.
You did it with Marco Rubio. You got everybody who's 99 votes, and the only vote was our VP, who maybe we should have been there just to make it 100. But I think I would have been angered if it was 100. That might be a step too far, right? Sorry,
if your VP or whoever replaced him in the Ohio Senate would have voted for that person in the Senate in the confirmation, that would have made you mad because of his popularity. Nothing like a little vainglorious bullshit in the middle of the prayer breakfast.
But no, it was great to see a vote. Pam Bondi had support from Democrats, and some of the others had some pretty good support. So, it's...
Yeah, not so much Kash Patel right now. They punted that today.
It's doable. We had a recent bill having to do with a very beautiful young lady who was killed from Georgia. And that bill was very bipartisan. It was very beautiful.
Yeah, because it was basically they took the bill the Democrats wanted to pass, slapped Laken Riley's name on it, and passed it. That's what it took to get you guys to vote for the thing you liked.
Thing to watch, actually. And so I think we just have to, if possible, we have to unify.
By the way, the whole Laken Riley thing where they named the bill that was literally to manipulate Republican voters into thinking that they added something to it or made it extra special or moved it along from the original, bipartisan bill that had passed earlier. They just threw that name on. It had nothing to do with Democrats or even shoving it in their faces. It was literally just to make sure that the Republican voters thought something had happened. That's it. It's like the Patriot Act, like adding that name to it. Nothing changed. The names makes you feel like the Patriot Act appeals to a certain kind of person.
There's big division. I mean, some people want an open border and some people want a closed border. We want it closed and they want it open. That's a big difference. How do you solve that problem? It's a big difference.
Well, first you quit, you stop bullshitting everyone that anybody wants an open border the way you say. And you also stop bullshitting people that you've actually closed it in the way that you say.
Some people want men and women's sports and some people don't. And I was with somebody yesterday who was so upset that the bill was signed where men cannot participate in women's sports. And I said, he's a very smart guy. Went to a great school, was a great student, and he actually feels, that
Who?
that should happen. Men should be able to play, meaning transition into women's sports.
Transition into women's sports. I've been wondering how you say that this whole time. Sorry, I was saying transgender athletes all the time, and that's my fault. How do you say it again? What was that again?
Be able to play, meaning transition into women's sports.
Okay, yeah, that's. I'm sorry. I'm just not up on the newfangled language. Yeah.
And you talk to him, and it's just, I don't understand it. I think I don't.
Yeah, but that applies to a lot of things.
Don't understand how the problem ever got started in the first place.
Yeah, the issues in the world are not contained by your inability to comprehend them.
It just seems so simple.
Well, that's maybe why you can't understand it, because you're simple.
But he's a good person and just believes it. It just believes it. Not going to be easy to convince him otherwise. So
who is he talking about? Scott Bessent?
The middle ground. It's hard to have a middle ground. There's two ways. I mean, you can either do it or you can't. But
like Jesus said.
I think a lot of good things are going to happen. A lot of people might be surprised to hear me say that of all people, but I think a lot of good things are going to happen because...
Why would they be surprised for you to say that while you're president? Of course you think that, dummy. That's not surprising. What will be surprising is if something bad happens and you go, well, I'm president and the buck stops here. It's my responsibility. I'm the president. That would shock the fuck out of everyone.
Our country's got some big headaches, but we have tremendous spirit right now.
Yeah, I always cure my headaches with spirit.
The spirit is as high as it's been. It was up 49 points.
Yes, faith in God up 25% and Spirit up 49%. I'm not ready to buy Spirit Airlines stock yet, but if Southwest goes to assigned seating, I'm jumping ship.
This morning, 49 points. It's the biggest increase in the history of whatever the poll was.
You know what? God, that's amazing. What?
It's up 49 points this morning. 49 points. It's the biggest increase in the history of whatever the poll was.
I don't even tell you, how do you even argue with that? It's got to be true. It's so insane.
So the spirit is there. That's a big...
Well, 49% of it is. Of whatever the poll was. Oh, God. That's just brutal. Oh, shit. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Oh, God. Whew.
Factor. That's probably the hardest thing to get back, to be honest. The rest is easy. So I want to just thank you.
Spirit's hard to get back, but, you know, infrastructure, satellites, a good FAA system, that's easy to get back. It's the spirit that's difficult.
Well, I want to congratulate a lot of the new members. I see so many of you that ran great races, David. That was a great race. But so many that ran great races, and on both sides, you ran some incredible races. So
it was an amazing race.
Good to be with you, and God bless everybody. We want to.
You know what? That'll do it. Thanks. That's somebody get the hook.
Come together and.
Right now, over me.
The happiest person, the element, the everything that's going to be happy. People of religion are going.
What is that? Wait. This is the big closer, man. This is fucking MLK shit. Here we go. Prayer breakfast, bitches. Let's do this. What?
Come together and the happiest, the person, the element, the everything that's going to be happy. People of religion are going to be happy again. And I really believe you can't be happy without religion, without...
Jesus Christ. Like that. I'm done. I don't even need to see the last couple minutes of that. What the ever-loving shit? I really believe you can't be happy without religion. Jesus. And here's the takeaway, if I may. And thank you for tuning in, guys. House Barks Mega Worldwide. See, I confront this stuff head on. Other people are like, I don't want to watch the whole... I'm not... This isn't making me nervous at all. And the more you see it, and again, see all of it, not just little clips of it where you're like, oh shit, he's got it together and these people are working with him and things are going to work out for him and they never work out for us, and that whole fucking catastrophizing bullshit. And then you watch the whole thing and you're like, oh right, he's still the same dough-headed motherfucker he was last time, only worse. And the people around him are either using him or having to deal with the fact that he's fucking losing it. So I'm not going to worry as much as people insist I do. Sorry. Jesus. But, like, the thing you have to take away from that is that you and I all heard that. We all watched that. We heard the words coming out. Even the maggots in the audience watching my show. And I want to thank you, trolls, for showing up because you helped me, grow my show better than anybody. Hit that, give me a thumbs down while you're at it, because please, any interaction at all, especially when you type stuff in the chat room, no matter what site you're on, whether you're on Facebook, on YouTube, on Rumble, on any of these sites, if you write anything in my chat, it says to the algorithm, not only are they watching this dude, but he's fucking engaging. So I want to thank you for that. That said, yes, and Twitch. God love you, Twitch people. Mwah. But you have to understand, the people sitting in that audience, Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are like, oh my fucking God, what a dipshit. But they're not alone. All the other Republicans there, the ones who want him to succeed and think the sun shines out of his ass and he's their big glowing orange sun, and they're sitting here listening to him yammer about his fucking like nicked ear after talking about 67 dead Americans and how cheap it would be to not have this happen, and boom, and there was a thing, and blah blah blah. We didn't have the right stuff, and transports and blah blah. Like, they're sitting there, they're seeing it too, and they can only lie to themselves so much. The maggots, your standard run of the mill, Floridian maggot, those guys are in all seriousness are probably incapable. There's like this barrier to reality when they're watching him. They just can't see past it, right? They cannot. It must be code. Maybe it's not him, it's me. I can't understand it because he's just genius, right? That's what genius sounds like, blathering word salad of fake religion. That's what a genius truly sounds like. But the people sitting in that room, they didn't get where they were by being completely stupid. And even the Tommy Tubervilles of the room are going, I don't know. Kind of sounds like bullshit to me. So just know that it digs in, that his behavior, his talking, and all this kind of stuff, it does weave its way into their brain. And there's only so much of that shit. You can stand next to somebody and go, you're totally smarter than me. Eventually, you're going to run up against a wall where you're like, I can't fake this anymore. This guy's a dumb fuck. Look, as long as he does the things we want, I'm for it. But Jesus Christ, I can't pretend he's not stupid. So, to the maggots, I want to thank you for being here. To the trolls, there are other places you could be, and thank you for the gift of your time and your attention. The very thing you can't ever get back means a lot. Really does. So take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, and I've got to play music. Sorry, I have to manually do the music now. That's the thing, isn't it? There we go. Hit that like, and if you hate my guts, please give a thumbs down on whatever site. Give me a negative emoji. If you're on Facebook, please, an angry emoji really does me a lot of good. For real. I'm not kidding.